or should I say hello and welcome to another episode of Philosophical Questions. The fact that I'm alone and nobody is willing to discuss it with me, I have to discuss with myself, and that's fun. People should actually practice that. No matter how old you are, you can always have a dialogue with yourself, and you should, of course, try to look at things from different perspectives. So to not only formulate your own idea about something, but to question that idea, to see if you could see it totally differently. And philosophical questions are a good practice for that. As always, this homepage, the link is in the description, has 205 philosophical questions, most of which I really find useful. And I use the number randomizer by Google to find a number between 1 and 205. So let's generate a number. 200, that's a pretty round number. Let's see what question 200 actually is. I always get numbers quite far down, don't I? Okay, here's number 200. Oh, that's a long one. If the transporters in Star Trek existed and you used it, your particles would be disassembled and then reassembled. Do you die every single time? Are you ever alive at two places at once? Are you ever completely dead? Okay, that's a special one, I would say. It's It's not so much connected to Star Trek in itself, but I have to explain the technology behind it, I think. It might not be an interesting question at all. If you find that uninteresting in any way, skip this video and check out another one, okay? I've talked for 2 minutes. I will try to talk 5 more minutes about this. So, the transport system in Star Trek. Scotty, beam me up. Most people know that phrase. Consists of, a beam of light. And you're standing there, and the light, takes your particles apart, transports them through the universe to another place, and there you are reassembled. So you are there. In the old series from the 1960s, nobody was putting too much thought into that. Although there's one episode, I think, that has that as a topic. Because the question, of course, is, what happens? Are you really transported? Or are you duplicated? In a way, the last thing. I mean, not one single atom of yours is transported across space. It's more like digital. It's more like digital data works. If in the past, when I had a record, these vinyl records where you put a needle on the record and then you play the music comes out of the record. And if I want to give that music to somebody else, I would give him the record. I couldn't take the record apart and send it by internet or something like that. What about MP3s today? With MP3s, we can send music easily. And without making a copy in a way, right? You could take a record and record it on a tape, which usually we did, but there was a loss of quality. Today with MP3s, it's just data, it's just numbers in a way. And if my computer knows a certain string of numbers, it can play music from it. And if I send those numbers to another computer, that computer can play exactly the same music. There's no loss of quality, It's not a copy in a way. It's more a reconstruction of it. And exactly that is the idea behind the transports in Star Trek. So, you are turned into particles, into numbers, and these numbers are regenerated and you are rebuilt on the other side. So, that was a long introduction. The question now is, what is the question? Your particles would be disassembled and then reassembled. Do you die every single time? Are you ever alive? 2 places. Are you ever completely dead? Yeah, what is life? That's the big question, the philosophical part of it. And I think we cannot really answer that, right? I think doctors have done that since ever. they have tried to define what is life. You know, the old Frankenstein idea. If you put together a new body made out of corpses or things, what do you have to add to it so that it lives? In the old Frankenstein film, it was electricity, because that was quite a new thing, you know, at the time. And in the book, I think it's not really explained. It says something about using the powers of nature, whatever that might be. Wasn't there this I don't remember, one Frankenstein film where they use electric eels or something? You could also imagine like chemistry, I think. But the fact is, we don't know today what really creates life. We have some ideas about the primordial soup, you know, it should be liquid, I think, people agree, and out of a liquid with chemical processes something could arise that we would call life, but nobody really knows how it works. So in a Star Trek transporter, my time is running out. How could I ever put that into such a short video? In a Star Trek transporter, you take the particles apart and put them together again. I think you should be dead, of course, because your whole body is hacked into the tiniest pieces imaginable. But on the other hand, yeah, it works. People arrive, and they are still the same. They have the same memories, they have the same character. And so, isn't that the answer then? I mean, obviously you aren't dead. You're still alive. You had entered a different field of existence, form of existence, and now you're reassembled and you're back to your old self. Could you live twice in the same place? Yes, I think there are episodes about that, even in the old series, right, where Kirk appears twice on the Enterprise, one good Kirk, one evil Kirk. Yes, why not? I mean, with cloning and so on, we could definitely say, yeah, you could make a copy of yourself. But, of course, even with a copy that has the same memories and the same character as yours, the moment you arrive on the other spaceship twice, you would start different lives. Would be quite scary, you know, like having twins with the same memories, the same feelings. And there are interesting questions about who has the right now to live the life. If you have a wife and you have just one wife in your life, but you are there twice, which one of the two may live together with the wife? Can the two live together? There are interesting questions there, but the question to answer it is easy. Yes. I think when you're reassembled, you don't die. No, I don't see a reason why you should call it dying. If you are just there, that's proof that you didn't die. Are you ever alive in two places at once? Probably. Or your existence, your life is in the middle ground between the two places. Either this or that. And are you ever completely dead? No, I wouldn't say so. So in the end, and I took more than 5 minutes to explain that, I think in the end this is a question about life and death. And I would say it's not, you shouldn't call it death, and you can't call it death if you live again. We have this idea of clinically dead people in hospitals who then come back to life. No, they were obviously not dead. They were physically dead. The heart stopped, or the brain function stopped. And we probably agree that it's difficult to call people back from that state, to bring them back to life, so to say. But if they come back to life, we would all agree probably, no, these people were not really dead. Not really. Right?